Hey YouTube! So today I'm going to do my March wrap-up and April TBR for you guys. 5 books this month, but I'm reading another one right now. It's really short. I should be able to finish it within an hour or two after recording this video, so I'm going to count that as a March. I read 6 books and I have a TBR of 5, so let's just get right into it. No particular order. The books I read. I'm just going to show you my Kindle books. I read 3 on the Kindle first, and then I will show you my physical books. So, first Kindle book that I read, and might have actually been the first book of the month, Finger by Andy Smith. And I really liked this book. It's really quickly, if I'm just going to do a really mini review, short review on all these. If you guys want to learn more, I'll do separate reviews on them. Just let me know. This one's about a boy. He's in a boarding school, and so it's about his life. He plays rugby, the friends he makes, friends he has, and some stuff happens along the way that's way beyond typical high school stuff. He's a 14-year-old junior because he's a genius. So there's just lots of stuff that happens in this book. It's really, I don't really want to explain too much, but that's it. But this book was amazing. I love the writing style. Really quirky and witty and funny, and I love the characters, and so I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Another Kindle book I have is Stolen by Lucy Christopher, and I loved this book. It wasn't like a typical YA. I really enjoyed the writing. It was powerful writing. This book was written in the view of a 16-year-old who's been kidnapped, and she's writing a letter to her captor after she is freed from him. It just recollects her time being with him and her views on how she sees what happened to her. And I'm really interested in those types of books. And this was just so good. Just action-packed, like really quickly paced, which I liked. And it was just really, the writing style was just really good. I really liked our main character, and it just the way she told the story, it just really got to you and just made you feel, and that's what I really liked about that book. And this is another book that I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book on the Kindle, which is actually the second to last book that I finished and read, is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. And for some reason, the Kindle isn't showing the proper cover. That's what the cover looks like. And I was expecting a lot out of this book. Honestly, I've heard so many good things, people ranting and raving about it, but I just didn't like it. So she committed suicide, and basically she writes 13 letters to people and telling them what their part was in her committing suicide. So basically she blames 13 people in her high school for her committing suicide. And I just thought it sounded kind of interesting, but honestly it just wasn't that good. Without going into too much detail, I thought that she was whiny, like she's blaming other people for her problems. And it's really just like, shut up. Like, your life wasn't really that bad. It was typical high school drama and nothing in compared to what else so many people go through every day. I know what it's like to be depressed and suicidal in high school. I've been there, done that. So and my life was a lot worse than hers, and I didn't blame other people for my problems. I had a bad life, but it's just like, yeah, you need to take responsibility for your own actions and stop letting people tell you how to live your life or what to do with your life. And it's just like, stop blaming other people, take responsibility, grow up. So I only gave that book a 3 out of 5 stars, although I probably should have given it a 2, but I did finish it in one night, and that's how good it was. So it was good in the fact that I wanted to read who was she going to blame next, what was going to be the next incident that pushed her over the edge. It was written like a thriller, but I didn't really like the whole blaming and the whole idea behind the book, but it was good enough for me to keep reading, which is why the concept and the premise made it a 2 stars, but because I did read it in one night, because I couldn't stop reading, because of the thriller aspect, I had to be fair and give it a 3. The next 2 books I have is The Summer We Fell Apart by Robin Antelek, and I know I had this in my January video. I planned to read a lot of these actually, but it just didn't work out. I didn't read very much in January. If you want to know why, check out other videos. I gave this a 3 out of 5. It wasn't what I was expecting. It's not really about a lot of stuff. It's written about 4 children, and not children because the youngest is in college, but a family of 4 siblings and their mother, and it's told in all their points of view, and each one has something different going on with their life. One of them is gay and he's struggling with that. Another one is a college freshman and she doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life. Another child is alcoholic and he kind of got that from his dad and he doesn't know how to cope. And then the oldest daughter is really successful and career driven, and she's a lawyer, and she doesn't like any chaos or any unplanned incidents in her life, but that kind of sets off a derailment of its own. And it was good, but it's really light and cute, but I wouldn't really recommend it because there wasn't really a lot going on. I guess it's kind of like Seinfeld. I mean, what is Seinfeld about, really? Nothing. It's just about Jerry's life with his friends, Elaine and George and Kramer. And there's nothing, you can't really describe what happens in Seinfeld because nothing really does, sort of. That's sort of the same thing as this. It wasn't horrible, but nothing happening in a show or a movie is okay, but so in a book, it's a lot harder to pull off. But I gave it 3 out of 5. It wasn't horrible. The next book, I actually got this for review, and I really like the cover. It's soft. It's almost like a clothy type of rubbery feel. This is Grounded by Angela Carrell. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I just finished this one yesterday, and then I started the last book that I'm currently reading. And this is about a girl named Annie Taylor, and she gets laid off of her job as a flight attendant because of a merger. Her company is merging with another company, and so she goes back to Kentucky where she was raised, and she helps her grandma on the farm because her grandfather died. And it's just about her finding her roots and realizing that she loves home, and she had gotten out of there because she didn't like the small town mentality, and she wanted to experience life and get out. But once she goes back home and visits, she just plans to take a little vacation. She realizes that she really likes being home, and she likes the life that's going on over there and all the stuff that happens, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. And when the time comes that she gets her job back, she has to decide, does she want to go back to New York or does she want to stay in Kentucky and help her grandma on the farm? And it's really cute and light and fun. I read this in 2 days. And if you're just looking for a good break from a dark book like a thriller or a horror, then this is something that's really cute and uplifting. It's about love, life, loss, family, roots, happiness, and it's just really cute. 4 out of 5. The book that I'm currently reading, which I'm planning on finishing, so this will be my 6th book. I'm not really enjoying it, even though everybody talks about it and says it's so good. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. It's not what I thought. It's supposed to be written by a 15-year-old, but he talks like he's 7 or 8. He just talks such linear language, so flat and monotone, and his sentences are so abrupt and they don't flow together at all. And I'm wondering if there's something wrong with him. I have a feeling that he's like autistic or Down syndrome or something. I don't know. I'm going to finish the book even though I'm not really liking it. I'm just hoping it gets better towards the end and there's some explanations because he's a 15-year-old boy and he doesn't know what masturbation is. Like, just no. Even a 13-year-old knows what masturbation is. Practicing it is one thing, but not even knowing what it is, that's a completely different thing. It's just not really believable. So I'm just not really liking it, but I want to finish it. Ugh, I feel bad because I want to like it so bad. But we'll see. We'll see. Now moving on to my April TBR. First book is Sarah's Key, and I've seen the movie of this. It's amazing. It's about the takes place in the Holocaust in 1942 in Paris, and this 10-year-old girl is told by her parents, hide your brother because the Nazis are coming to take them away, and the parents know that. So they give her a chance, like, hide, go and hide yourselves. And the parents don't want the kids taken away, so she hides her younger brother in a closet, a hidden closet inside her bedroom. So she leaves him with some water and I think like crackers or something, and she hides him. And there's no really door handle or anything there. There's just a key lock, but it's underneath some like wallpaper, so it's a hidden door. And she hides him, and she says, "Don't worry, I'll come back for you." She locks him in the closet to keep him safe. Her intention is to keep him safe because her parents told her, "You guys get yourself someplace safe." And she's thinking about her brother before she thinks about herself. So before she gets a chance to hide, the Nazis come and take them away, and they never know her brother is there. And they get taken away to concentration camp. And her life's goal is to get back to her brother and save him. It's really sad because by the time she comes back for her brother, obviously all she left him with was a bottle of water, and she was in the concentration camp for at least several months. And I mean, you can kind of figure out yourself from there. Obviously, that doesn't have a happy ending, and it's sad because she honestly had good intentions of hiding her brother. And so I'm really looking forward to reading that. That sounds so good, so sad. I have a feeling this is going to be tearjerker. Another book that I started last month and I've been trying to get through, it's a New York Times bestseller, so I had a lot of hopes for it, and it sounds super interesting. It's just not what I thought it was. It's The Book of Air and Shadows by Michael Gruber, and I only got that far. I'm about 50 pages in, 48 pages in, and it's a really thick book, so it's taking a while to get through, and I wanted to like it. And it's about a bookstore that gets burned down, and it's a bookstore that sells rare books. And there's one of the books that they're able to salvage is a manuscript, but they have to take out some of the pages and take off the cover and stuff in order to restore the book because it's salvageable, but they have to restore it. And then once they take off the cover and take out some of the pages, they find out a whole big conspiracy thing, and it just gets blown wide open, and there's people that are out to kill to save the secret that they find out based on the book. It sounds a lot like The Shadow of the Wind, and that's one of my favorite books ever. So I was looking forward to it, but I mean, that's as far as I've gotten, 48 pages in. That's what I know has happened. But it's just the narrator I don't really care for. I don't really like the writing style, even though the story's good, but I'm hoping it'll get better. I'm going to finish that. This is another one that was on my January TBR, but because I didn't read very much, I didn't get to it, was Love in the Time of Cholera. And this is about two people who fall in love, but she ends up marrying a wealthy guy instead, and he has 622 affairs in that whole time that she's married, but he can never settle down with a woman because he can never get her out of his mind. And then after her husband dies, he goes to the funeral and they get back in touch, and he tries to court her again, and I'm not sure what happens after that, but it sounds just really cute, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but it sounds like a really cute, light, fun read, and sometimes I like to read romance in the midst of a bunch of other stuff, especially after Sarah's Key. I'm going to need a light read. And this is by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The next one is Nick Hornby's A Long Way Down, and I'm not sure if this one is supposed to be funny. It kind of sounds like it might be like a witty type of novel and kind of funny. It's about four people who meet on top of a 15-story building in London, and they all have different reasons for being up there, but their purpose is to kill themselves. They are doing it on New Year's Eve, so that's supposed to be a significant date in the book. And it says on the back, in a place known as a local suicide jumper's favorite, they might encounter company. So it sounds like they meet somebody up there or something up there who makes them maybe reconsider killing themselves, but it doesn't sound like it's a serious suicide novel. It sounds like it's supposed to be a witty, humorous take on what would happen if you jumped, sort of a thing, or like maybe just people moping about their lives, but in a witty type of way. I'm not really sure, but And I've heard of Nick Hornby, even though I've never read anything by him, but it sounds really interesting. And the fifth book, which I'm hoping to get through, I actually got this book for review, and it is 100 Names by Cecilia Ahern. And I've never read anything by her, but I've heard of her. And as you can see, it's an advanced reader's copy. So it's an ARC. It hasn't come out yet. It is released on May 6th. So I want to read this before it's released so that I can review it. But this one sounds interesting. It doesn't really say much. There's nothing on the back. It just says marketing campaign and praise and stuff. So the blurb is actually in the front cover here. So, but it's just about, apparently somebody inherits a book of 100 names, and that's all we know. So the person hires like an investigator to try and figure out that they look at the names. The names have no significance. Don't know who they are, who wrote it. So it's about the investigator going on trying to find who these people are in the book, who wrote the book, if there's any connection between them, pretty much why their names are in here. And that's that's all I know. So I'm pretty much going into it blind, but I've heard of Cecilia Ahern. She's supposed to be a great author, so I am looking forward to it. That is it. I will let you guys know when I am done reading them. If you want any more extensive review of any of the books I read, please just let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to do that. And I'll see you guys soon. And please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.